Value-Based Incentive Payment System, or MIPS, is one of two participation paths of the new Quality Payment Program, or QPP. The Quality Payment Program contained within MACRA, the Medicare Access and CHIP Reauthorization Act of 2015, is part of a broader effort by CMS, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, to shift from a volume-based payment system to one which rewards clinicians demonstrating high quality and value by penalizing those who are not. The QPP replaces and consolidates several legacy Medicare programs, combining them into a single program with flexibility that allows participants to choose the activities and measures which are most meaningful. MIPS consolidates the Physician Quality Reporting System, or PQRS, now the Quality Performance category of MIPS, the Value Modifier Program, now the Cost Performance category, the Medicare EHR Incentive Program, now the Advancing Care Information Performance category, and adds a new fourth performance category called Improvement Activities. Now I'd like to introduce Bruce Mackey, MCEDA Regulatory and Incentive Program Analyst.
The performance of MIPS participants, referred to as eligible clinicians or ECs, is measured across the four weighted performance categories on a 100-point scale called the final score, which is then compared against an annual performance threshold with Medicare Part B reimbursement rates adjusted based on program performance. In 2019, the quality performance category is worth 45% of the final score, cost is worth 15% of the final score, the improvement activities performance category is worth 15% of the final score, and the promoting interoperability performance category is worth 25% of the MIPS final score. In the cost performance category of MIPS, worth 15% of the MIPS final score in 2019, there is no additional reporting requirement. Clinicians and groups will be assessed in this performance category based on Medicare claims data received through the normal claims process, otherwise known as administrative claims analysis. For this performance category, keep in mind that it uses measures previously used in the Value-Based Modifier Program and reported in Quality and Resource Use Reports, or QRURs. Only the scoring is different. Generally stated, a cost measure represents the Medicare payments, for example, payments under the physician fee schedule, for items and services furnished to a beneficiary during an episode of care. The episode of care is the basis for identifying items and services through claims that are furnished to address a condition within a specified timeframe. The goal is that cost measures should also be aligned with quality of care assessments so that patient outcomes and smarter spending can be pursued together. When developing cost measures, CMS considers 5 essential components. First, defining an episode group. An episode group is a certain type of procedure, such as aortic valve replacement or hip fracture surgery. In general, there are 3 different types of episode groups which CMS intends to further develop with significant healthcare community feedback: chronic condition episode groups, acute inpatient medical condition episode groups, and finally, procedural episode groups. Through further development and stakeholder feedback, CMS is developing additional cost measures which will be used in future years of the program. The second component in developing a cost measure deals with assigning costs to the episode group. Both direct and indirect costs are considered here and assigned appropriately. Number 3 is attributing the episode group to one or more responsible clinicians. Number 4 includes risk adjusting the episode group resources or defining episodes to compare like beneficiaries, which is needed to ensure that there is an apples-to-apples comparison to the greatest extent possible. And finally, 5, aligning episode group costs with indicators of quality so that clinicians can pursue high quality and lower costs concurrently. Why are cost measures important? CMS's goal for developing cost measures is to provide actionable information that is useful to clinicians and, together with the other components of MIPS, drive lowered costs and improved patient outcomes. Overall, CMS seeks to provide clinicians with the information necessary to reduce healthcare spending and promote the delivery of high-value care. A total of 10 cost measures are used to evaluate performance in the cost performance category in the 2019 MIPS performance period. 2 of the 10 measures were used to evaluate performance in the 2017 and 2018 MIPS performance periods. These 2 measures are the total per capita costs for all attributed beneficiaries measure, or TPCC, and the Medicare spending per beneficiary measure, or MSPB. A TPCC measure was used in the value modifier program beginning in 2015, and all groups received feedback illustrating how they performed on this measure in the annual Quality and Resource Use Reports, or QRURs, distributed by CMS as part of the VM program. The MSPB measure was used in the VM program beginning in the 2016 payment adjustment period, and feedback on this measure was provided in annual QRURs beginning in 2014. Beginning with the 2019 MIPS performance period, 8 episode-based measures will also be used to evaluate cost. The 8 episode-based measures that are now included in the cost performance category for 2019 MIPS performance period are listed here in this table. Episode-based measures differ from the TPCC and MSPB measures because episode-based measure specifications only include items and services that are related to the episode of care for a clinical condition or procedure, as opposed to including all services that are provided to a patient over a given time, such as an entire calendar year or the time immediately before, during, and following an inpatient admission. Episode-based measures assess the cost of care that is clinically related to their initial treatment of a patient and provided during an episode's time frame. Episode-based measures are calculated using Medicare Parts A and B fee-for-service claims data. In summary, the cost performance category of MIPS replaces the cost portion of the value modifier program and is worth 15% of the MIPS final score in 2019. The weight of this performance category will increase in subsequent years, eventually being equally weighted with the quality category at 30% each. No additional data reporting is required in this category, as measurement is calculated from Medicare claims data. Cost measures represent the payments for the items and services furnished to a Medicare beneficiary during an episode of care. And CMS's goal in developing cost measures and providing actionable data to clinicians is to reduce healthcare spending and promote the delivery of high-value care.